Have you ever felt that sudden quiet between two people who used to feel like one soul? No fights, no dramatic ending, just silence, that kind of silence that doesn't scream but aches. He stops calling like he used to. You still check your phone hoping for that message that never comes. And somewhere between the last goodnight text and today's quiet distance, you start to wonder, what happened to us? But let's pause for a moment, because sometimes silence isn't a punishment, it's a mirror. It reflects what's real, what's broken, and what your heart has been avoiding. Silence reveals what words hide when two people drift apart. It's rarely random. It's not just him getting busy or you overthinking. It's energy shifting, because every relationship has an invisible emotional rhythm. And when one person stops feeling safe or seen, the rhythm starts to fade. Silence then becomes a kind of truth. It's the universe saying something here needs to change, and it's up to you to listen, not to the noise of your fears, but to the quiet voice of your intuition. Silence can be the signal that emotional alignment has been lost. And if we learn to read it instead of fear it, we can find clarity, because silence often speaks the truth. Words fail to express. You start to hear yourself again when you're deeply connected to someone. You almost stop hearing yourself. You start adjusting, softening your edges, shrinking a little just to keep the peace. And then suddenly he pulls away, and for the first time, you're alone with your own thoughts again. Painful, yes, but also powerful. Because in that quiet, you begin to remember who you were before him. The woman who didn't need permission to laugh, dream, or glow. The woman who used to feel whole, not because someone loved her, but because she loved herself first. That silence is your soul whispering, come home to yourself. It reminds you that peace is not found in someone's presence, but in your own acceptance. And once you learn to find comfort in your solitude, you become unshakable. Sometimes his distance is a test, but not of love. Many women think when a man goes quiet, he's stopped caring. But sometimes silence isn't rejection, it's reflection. Men often retreat when they feel overwhelmed or emotionally uncertain. They don't always express confusion, they withdraw. And in that space he's watching, not to punish you, but to understand how you handle distance. Will you panic, chase, beg for attention, or will you stay calm, confident, and grounded in your worth? Because here's the truth. A man feels safest with a woman who doesn't crumble when he pulls away. A woman who knows silence isn't the end. It's just an emotional pause, and during that pause, you have the chance to build your inner strength, your emotional independence, and your self-respect, the kind that naturally draws true connection instead of forcing it. The feminine art of stillness. There's a rare kind of strength in quiet women, not the kind that screams, I don't care, but the kind that softly says, I choose peace over proving my worth. The modern world teaches women to fight, chase, and prove, but real feminine power, the kind that mesmerizes a man's heart, lives in stillness. When you stop chasing, energy shifts. You begin to attract instead of pursue. You stop trying to fix him and start listening to yourself. You stop asking, what did I do wrong? And start saying, what is this silence trying to teach me? Because every silence has a message, and strong women don't fear it, they decode it. The energy of stillness allows you to connect with your intuition. It helps you move from reaction to reflection, and that is where emotional power truly lives. When silence means healing, not ending, sometimes that pause between two people isn't the end. It's the reset. It's a divine intermission, a chance for both hearts to heal from hidden wounds. When you stop forcing connection, something magical happens. You begin to grow separately. Yes, but in ways that might bring you back stronger. Maybe he needs to realize what your absence feels like. Maybe you need to remember your own light. Because when you both grow individually, love can return not as dependency, but as choice. And if it doesn't return, then silence wasn't the end. It was the blessing that saved you from staying stuck in something that no longer served your peace. Every relationship goes through cycles of closeness and distance, and sometimes the pause is the universe's way of giving both souls room to evolve. When silence is the goodbye, you never said there's another kind of silence, the one that slowly turns into goodbye. No fights, no closure, just a quiet knowing. You stop explaining yourself because your heart has already accepted the truth. You realize that not every soul is meant to walk with you forever. Some people are chapters, not the whole book. They come to awaken something in you. And when their part is done, life gently writes them out. And that's okay, because not every ending needs a storm. Some end in peace, some end with a soft thank you for what you taught me. Growth sometimes demands separation, and when we learn to release with grace, we open space for peace, purpose, and new beginnings. The silence that awakens self-love. Here's the most beautiful part. When someone stops showing up for you, you learn how to show up for yourself. You stop waiting for the good morning texts and start giving yourself good mornings. You stop depending on validation and start celebrating your own glow. You realize you don't need constant reassurance to feel worthy. You are already enough, even in the quiet, especially in the quiet, because silence isn't loneliness, it's rebirth. It's the moment. The universe whispers, now it's your turn to love you the way you loved them, when you redirect your energy from needing love to becoming love. Your vibration rises and your peace deepens. This is where self-worth begins to bloom. The truth about emotional maturity, real emotional maturity, isn't about pretending you're unbothered. It's not about smiling when your heart is breaking or acting cold when you actually care. It's about how you handle the storm inside you without letting it destroy your peace. It's when someone you once shared everything with suddenly goes silent, and instead of chasing answers, you take a deep breath and choose peace over panic. It's when you can look at someone who walked away and instead of anger you silently whisper, I still wish you well. That's maturity, not revenge, not resentment, not needing to prove your worth, because deep down you start realizing that not everyone who leaves is your loss. Some people are lessons, some are mirrors. And some were only meant to stay long enough to show you what you deserve. You stop trying to explain your side to those who never cared to understand it. You stop overthinking why they changed and start focusing on how you grew. You learn that peace is not found in fixing what's broken with others, but in healing what's been neglected within yourself. Real emotional maturity is when you can feel pain deeply, but still choose not to turn it into bitterness. It's when you understand that silence doesn't always mean indifference. Sometimes silence is grace, it's wisdom, it's choosing not to fight for people who already stopped showing up. And the most powerful kind of closure doesn't come from long conversations, apologies, or perfect endings. It comes from acceptance, from the quiet strength of saying, this is how it was meant to be, and I'll still be okay, because in the end, silence isn't about who stopped talking, it's about who finally started understanding that peace is louder than chaos, that healing doesn't always make a sound, and that walking away gracefully is its own kind of power. So, beautiful soul, if someone's silence is echoing in your life right now, don't chase it. Don't rush to fill the quiet, because silence isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's guiding you back to your peace, your strength, your truth. Let it teach you, let it heal you, and remember, the right people will always meet you where calm begins, not where chaos lives. Sometimes the loudest answers come when you finally stop trying to speak and start listening. Because in that quiet space where your heart meets your truth, you'll realize silence was never empty. It was full of everything you needed to find yourself again.